It doesn't say anything in there about dealing with these temperatures. It's far too hot for messing about in the workshop. So I haven't actually done a lot of work this week because it's been like just far too warm to get in there. Even with the fan run, can't handle it. So anyway, something a bit different today. So we're just going to do a little bit of a recap on what we've done so far on the car. I just want to go over what we've done previously and look at the repairs we've done, but more importantly I want to look at the money we've saved, because as we all know, doing a restoration on an MGB can be quite expensive if you buy new panels. And my thoughts on this whole project was, let's not buy new panels, let's just repair everything we can, keep the cost right down, so that at the end of the day you're like, yeah, I've done well there, I've got a car that looks good, it's all safe and repaired, and it hasn't cost a fortune. So let's have a little walk around and have a look at that. When the MGB first arrived, first thing I done was jack the car up, got underneath, had a right good look around, tried to assess everything it needed, quickly checked the brakes, just generally getting a feel for what needed doing to it. I knew the bodywork needed a lot of work because every panel we looked at there was filler, there was rot. So I knew there was going to be work there, but I just wanted to assess the whole thing. Overall, there was no surprises. There was some rust underneath that I wasn't aware of. And we did do a couple of little, I think it was on this side, we've done a little repair down here on the inner sill. And then I got started on the bodywork. So the first thing I started with was the door on this side. My thoughts on that is that if you get the door sitting right and it fits well against the sill, then you can set the quarter panel up in the wing to fit nice and get some good gaps. So the doors for these, brand new door, which is this probably needed because it needed a bottom and it needed a bit of a skin, is £657. So I'm going to keep a little note of all the prices I'm telling you. I'm going to add it up at the end and shock me and shock you as well. So I decided not to spend the £657 and just repair the door. So we chopped the door skin along the bottom here, and we put a new panel right in, and we've done some localised repairs on the door bottom as well. Filled up the skin to get any warpage out of it, and put some primer on. Straightforward enough, took a little bit of time, saved £657. Cost basically nothing, just a bit of time. After we'd done the door, there was a load of rot just here on this sill. So I moved on to that because I wanted to get the sill finished. So there was a big hole here, so we had to make a couple of panels to fit in here, had to retain the seam. Went straightforward enough. There's a video on that you can watch. And we've done some more localised repairs along the sill, and got the door and the sill matching well together. The next panel we looked at after that was this rear quarter panel. Someone in the past had repaired this car and they'd put a quarter panel right on top of a rusty old quarter panel. Instead of removing it first, they just stuck it straight on top. So it traps all the moisture and it just rots. So that's what happened both sides on this. So I knew I needed to chop out the whole bottom of that panel and fit a new one, because it's too complex to try and make one of those. So I looked around and I found one on eBay. A new one is anywhere between £220 and £250 for this lower half that joins here, so just this bit. So yeah, £220, £250 for that. I managed to find a brand new one that someone had bought and not used, and it cost £130 or £120. It was £120. So we managed to weld that one in, done some localised repairs on the wheel arch. It all went quite straightforward. Basically half price panel. So that went quite well. The other thing we had to do on the quarter panel was, I decided at that point I was going to do a chrome bumper conversion. This is a rubber bumper car, I fancied the chrome. So we had to build out these corner panels here under the light. So that was an extra little bit of fabrication work that had to be done when we were doing the quarter. Luckily that didn't cost a penny, because you can buy a kit, but I decided not to buy the kit. I just made those panels myself, so saving a bit more money there. We then looked at the driver's side front wing. So the bottom of here was completely rotten out, so I managed to make a panel for there and weld that in there. We filled a little hole there for the aerial. We've done some localised repairs here, and we've done some repairs here. There's a couple of holes there and one down there we welded in, some new bits of metal, got them back to normal again as well. Because we were doing the conversion, we had to alter all of this front here. So normally this is a big hole, we had to make that to take the chrome bumper lights, and in the valance we had to fill a hole there as well. Wings on these are £850, and we managed to save that £850 by repairing this panel. The back valance on the car also needed some work. There was several holes in it, lots of little holes and some bigger holes. But instead of replacing the panel, we thought we'd repair it. So there was a couple of big holes here that I put some pieces in. Can't remember exactly, maybe here somewhere as well. And then there was a few smaller holes, you know, from sort of like a pinhole up to sort of the size of a pea. But again, saved putting the valance on, we just repaired it. Had we bought the lower valance, this section here, it's £182. We also done a little bit of repair work on this higher part of the valance. There wasn't much wrong with that, it was just some surface rust. And we repaired up around here. Again, not really anything wrong with it. We did encounter some quite bad pitting along here, which we ground back quite severely, treated it with some rust treatment, and put some filler on that. Seems to have done the trick, because that would have been quite a tricky repair in there. So I'm glad I didn't have to get into that too deeply. From there, we turned our attention to this side, and I started underneath. The castle rail was completely rotten at the front. The back end of it wasn't too bad, but when I bought the car, it came with the castle rail, so that was great. So we fitted the castle rail, we done some localised repairs to the bottom of the inner sill diaphragm. Got all that welded on. That's quite a complicated job. A lot of rolling about on the floor underneath and welding upside down, so it wasn't great, but we got through it, got it done. And in with that repair, we put a large patch in the passenger side front footwell on the floor, made a panel to go in there to repair that, so that was all good at that point. So we saved £158 by not buying the panel to go in the floor, we just fixed it. And of course the castle rail came with the car, so I didn't have to buy that, but had I bought it, they were £105. The next panel we looked at was the passenger side door. It was the same as the driver's side. It was completely rotten along the bottom here, and on this side it was actually worse underneath, so we had to make a panel up that replaced the whole bottom and the lip that the skin goes onto, and then done the skin right across here. And I think there was a repair up here as well, if I remember right. Same on the other side, actually. There was a repair here where the crack happens. So we got the door fitting well onto the sill, and then we moved on to the quarter panel. Now the quarter panel on this one, it was the same as the last one. They put a new panel on top of the rusty old panel. It caused all sorts of problems. So I knew I had to find a new panel for this. I'd been looking on eBay and everywhere. I didn't want to buy a new panel at £230. So what I found in the end for £30 was a second-hand MGB GT rear quarter panel. So it came with all this bit up here, and we just carefully unpicked the bit we wanted, which is this lower part. Took a bit of time, but it unpicked okay, and it went on here okay. Done the job, so that cost me £30 instead of the £230, so saved a little bit of money there, quite happy with that. We've done some localised repairs around the inner wheel arch here. Made it fit to the sill, and then the sill, there was plenty of repairs on the sill, but we basically chopped the bottom lip off there and recreated that whole new lip and welded it right across there, so that was the sill, back to being good again. The last major repair on the car was this front wing on the passenger side. This was definitely a lot worse than it was on the other side. So the bottom of here, we put a panel coming from about here, all of that was new. We made that using the vise and the hammers. You can get repair panels for them, but again, I want to try and do it myself. So we put a panel in there. There was rot right along here and right along here. So we basically chopped out most of that. I think we left a little piece here. Most of that for about an inch, inch and a half. Completely replaced that. There was some rot up in here we've done as well. And then on the front, I think it was, I'm forgetting now what was what because it's a while ago, but I think it was here, we put a whole new piece in here somewhere. And then we had to do quite a lot of work in here. There was a hole down in the bottom of this headlamp bowl, and we had to remake a bit of the bowl as well. There was a hole up in here, and then we had to do the modification for the chrome bumper. So we had quite a lot of work on this wing. It still wasn't bad enough to warrant spending £850 on a new panel, even though you'd have just bolted the new panel on. We did spend, I don't know, a couple of days fixing this wing, but we saved the £850. It basically costs, you know, a little bit of steel in a lot of time. So that got the wing sorted, and then from the wing we finished off the front panel. We had to weld another piece in here on the valance, again just to do the conversion. And we messed about quite a bit here, getting the grille to fit nice. I've still got to tweak the driver's side, but it was worth the effort because the grille fits nice. There's a nice uniform gap now. I then worked on the boot lid. It didn't really need a lot of doing. There was a bit of surface rust here and there. Nothing really. A few dents. There's a lot of dents along here. I think people have been pushing this car. So there's a few dents along there to sort out. But not bad to do at all, that one. And then we were quite rapidly getting to the end of the major bodywork, so all that was left at that point was the bonnet to do, which didn't look as though it needed any work, and this panel here, just below the windscreen, which there was some surface rust, but I thought doesn't look bad. So we started on that, and then we got the little surprise of the gutter right along here being completely rotten, so I wasn't expecting it. So we rebuilt from that corner of the wing to about here somewhere, and then another piece in here. It looked complicated, but actually worked out quite well. So that got that repaired. There was some localized rust here and there on the edges of the seams, where there usually is. So we just ground as much of that out as possible, treated it, and that was that done. So that concluded the bodywork, or the major bodywork around the car. We have found other little bits and pieces that have been underneath. There probably we still will find more, but altogether I'm quite happy where we are in the time frame that we've done. But more than that, I'm very happy with the lack of money I've spent on this. I'm going to add up all the panels that, if you'd approached this car and said, what does it need? You'd have went wing, door, quarter, valance, etc. So I'm going to add up them that most people would have bought and I haven't bought, and we'll just see what that comes to. So what I've looked at is, if you'd bought this car as a project and you thought, right, what panels do I need? Or if you'd taken it to a body shop and said, what panels do I need for my car? They'd have looked at it, and anything that had a big lump of filler in it or holes in it, they'd say it needs a new panel. So that's what I've done. I've just taken what you would normally, conventionally buy a new panel for. And I've wrote them on here. So this is basically what you would need if you said, right, there's a hole in that panel, I need a new panel. You need the doors, the wings, castle rails, inner sill, outer sill, floor pan on one side, front valance, rear valance, jacking point, quarter panels, and the scuttle panel. All of them panels had rot in them, had holes in them, some of them had several holes in them. Conventional thinking would be just buy a new panel. So those are the panels. On top of that, there's the conversion panels. Now all that is the little round bits under the lights at the back, and the little piece that goes into the front to take the chrome bumper lights. Those are panels you still have to buy if you weren't making them yourself. So that's the panels that I've repaired. Here's the prices if you had to buy them. So obviously there's 2 doors, 2 wings, etc. All of that, plus some consumables. Now the consumables is, I've used welding gas, a fair bit of it. I've used at least one roll, so I've used one complete roll of welding wire, and I've just recently put a full one on, so I've used over just one roll of wire. There's primer on the car, there's filler on the car, I've used sandpaper, etc., grinding discs, all that sort of stuff. So I've added that up, what I've used, and roughly it comes to £105 from what I can remember I've used and what I remember buying. So if you add all the costs of the panels, had you bought them, that would come to £3,969. So it's quite a substantial amount, that. So those are the panels most people would have said you should have put on the car. And in fact, in the comments, a lot of people said, why don't you put a door on? Why don't you put a wing on? Had I done that, I would have spent £3,969. But because I didn't do that and I repaired them, I've spent a total of £261 so far. That includes the £105 consumables, because if you put all them panels on, that figure would be different. There'd be a little bit less welding, etc. So that's what I could have been stood at right now, just under £4,000. As it is, I've spent so far £261. It's taken me a lot of time. We're not counting the time, because if you count the time, you're suddenly into thousands and thousands of pounds, and it's completely not viable. If you went to a body shop, obviously they're going to charge you the panels plus the labour, and you can see how very quickly it becomes just a waste of time spending way more on an MGB Roadster than it's actually worth if you take it to a body shop and have the repairs done that way. If you do it yourself, even if you buy the panels, it would just be this price plus your time. If you do what I chose to do and challenge yourself to see whether you can actually repair all the panels, you can fix all of those panels, because that's what I've done, and you can see the costs there, just time and a little bit of metal and stuff. I'll just mention on the metal, I got some offcuts of sheet steel from a friend of mine, so I didn't actually pay for them, but I've included a little bit in that had I got them and bought the sheet of metal. So yeah, quite a substantial saving. I'm very pleased with that. To save £4,000 and get to where I am, it's all gone quite well. So that was just a recap really of what we've been spending the last few months doing. we've got ourselves right around the car and got it all repaired, all the rot chopped out, and a little look at what was spent and more importantly what was saved. And it's quite a substantial amount we've saved by doing it ourselves. So anybody doing a restoration, you can see if you've got the time to do it and some basic skills, you know, it's so worthwhile doing, saving the money, as long as you've got the time to do it. That's the thing. As far as welding, you know, welder, you can get a welder for £400 or £500. A lot of people teach themselves to weld, but if you know somebody can weld and show you the basics, it gets you going. Certainly within a very short period of time, you'll be able to do repairs as we've done on here. It's not, MIG welding is very straightforward. So yeah, it's turned out quite well as far as what we spent. I hadn't actually added it all up before, so it was interesting. I've been a bit of an eye-opener to see how much money was saved there. So I'm quite pleased with that. So moving forward, the next few videos, I'm hoping to get the engine out, because as you can see in here, the engine bays would really let that down once I've got nice shiny paint on all the exterior panels. All of these rusty parts and all of these rusty inner wings really let it down. So that's kind of the next biggest job that I'd like to get to. I've slight misgivings about that sort of job. The way I manage a restoration is I like to do it in little chunks. As you've probably noticed, I'll do a bit at a time. Even as far as stripping down, I won't strip the whole car down. I'll literally just strip the bit I'm working on, move on to the next bit. The car ends up stripped down, but I just do it in small chunks. And I just found with previous jobs, previous projects I've done, it kind of makes it more manageable. One of the issues I've always had though is this car's still mobile. When I'm working on the bodywork, it's pretty much mobile, or I might have a quarter panel off. You can still move the car if you have to. It starts up and drives. As soon as you start pulling major mechanical parts out, engines, gearboxes, suspension, the car is now stuck in the garage. Now I use my garage now and again. I've got other cars that I work on. I don't like having cars immobilized in the garage, so when it gets to something like that, like pulling the engine out and spending probably a few weeks sorting out all in there and getting it painted, the car is now immobilized, and it just always sort of nags at me. It's like, oh, now the car's stuck. What am I if I need to use my garage? So I have a little issue with that major decision, pulling the engine out. If I give myself a quick time scale, say right, engine out and back in again as quick as possible, then I can kind of manage that. However, as other things interfere in life, there's a great fear that you might get it pulled out, immobilize the car, and then it gets stuck in your garage. So I don't know how you deal with that sort of thing where the project's getting to that point where it's a big thing you're pulling out. Now, you know, do you deal with that quite easily, or do you have the same misgivings that I have about immobilizing a car in your workshop? I know I will get the work done. I'll pull the engine out, I'll prep all the engine bay, get it sprayed, get it back together again, back on the ground running, and then move on with the rest of the bodywork. I know that'll happen. It's just I've always been like, what happens if it gets stuck? Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little video. It's been a bit different. It's just been far too hot to work. Even just standing here in the garage, it's very, very warm. But that's pretty much it for this week. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button as always. If you haven't yet subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It's going to really help the channel out, because a good majority of you that watch, probably like 60-70%, haven't subscribed to the channel. Why not? Hit the button. And if you've got the hype button available, give us a hype as well. Thanks very much for watching. Drop some comments about what you think about moving forward, and I'll see you in the next video.